who are we to decide this issue?
How local communities can actually fight back. And this is really important. And this is the whole reason, as I said earlier, understanding the threat exists is to train them to fight. But it's not just giving skills, it's a mindset. It's that over time, as you all have taught us, Americans have transferred, quite frankly, their authority and responsibilities up to what I would call
Americans alike operation to take them out that is now in its sixth.
That's not at all.
There was net President Biden tonight immigration to this country of a dictator. In other words, the number of immigrants of a dictator.
Just recently,
in Texas,
FBI raids a guy's house saying he was somehow
we had state 14 million immigrants in 1920 by
the local sheriff does
1965.
nothing.
We had fewer than 10 million immigrants. In that same time period, our population
asking his sheriff,
why
didn't you
while
intervene?
he engages now in impressive authoritarian behavior.
The answer is, it's your freaking county. It's your jurisdiction. It's your responsibility. The fact that you're unprofessional and the fact that you're too scared or cowardly to do your duty, that's the problem. Citizens have to hold their local officials.
He's the one for kids who's amazing.
Let's look at what that looks like in reality. Well, the FBI shows up at a citizen's home, whether they're given a heads up or not. If they're given a heads up, the sheriff immediately calls local FBI and says, no, you're not doing that. Before you do anything in my county, I want to see it. Right? I want to see it. And if you show up without notifying me, I'm going to put 20 deputies in front of this guy's house and you're not going to even pretend. And we will physically block you because it's wrong. And we'll call citizens that we work with in the community. We'll have 100 or 200 of them out there because what you're doing is wrong and I'm not going to tolerate it. And by the way, I'm the law in this county, not you. This is not an Article 6 issue. This is not a supremacy clause issue. This is what you're doing is unjust. And so we're not going to allow it in our county. You can do that with the banks that are doing financing of these groups. Hey, you want to finance Communist China through BLM? Then your bank will shut down in our county. We're shutting this branch down. So if you want to operate, then you need to shut this off. You got 2 hours.
Your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
A lot of ways to make people unwelcome. And if that makes people listening or viewing what we're doing right here uncomfortable, then all I would ask is, it's fine that you're uncomfortable, get out of the way, because there's a war on and we don't need you in the middle.
Working with Donald Trump, had done yeoman's work in actually securing and locking down the border. It was moving in the right direction, it was more safe. But Biden comes in, and behind the scenes, he brought in Obama's former regulatory czar, a guy named Cass Sunstein, to undo everything that you've done so far. And the Department of Justice is trying to untangle the prohibitions and the lockdown
and
of what you actually
Hamas
accomplished in the Trump
operatives
administration.
wearing
Explain that
suits
further to people.
operating inside
Yes,
the
this is a
federal
very
government. And I said, now you
crucial
really think they're
The current
vetting your
crisis,
Afghan
the
refugees,
calamity
right?
playing
But
out on
the
our
point
border,
was,
hour
he
after
asked,
hour, day after
what
day,
can I
is the
do
result of a planned,
when they're
purposeful,
literally
and
flying them in and
premeditated
landing at one of
crusade
our airports?
carried
I'm
out by the
like,
Biden
I don't know,
administration.
do you have
In
a National
2020,
Guard here?
President Trump
You have
had in
State
place
Guard? Yes.
a brilliant
Well, what if
series
100
of
them were at
domestic
the
reforms
airport,
and interlocking
when the plane
international
lands and it's
agreements
taxiing,
that allowed us to
your
deploy
National
any
Guard
illegal
vehicles
alien
with
from any
National Guard
country at any
troops are there.
time
They say,
for
yeah,
any
no,
reason
nobody gets
whatsoever
off this
without
plane.
delay.
You take
That
that crap,
included
you take
remain in
right back
Mexico,
off, you go
safe
land
third
in someone
agreements,
else's state.
asylum
And if
bars,
you land
Title
here
42
again,
as just a few
we're going to have
examples of
legal
what
issues
President
with you.
Trump
I'm going to
had
take whoever's
ingeniously
in
put
charge of
into
this
place.
thing into custody.
Joe Biden
How's that?
set about dismantling
Does he have the
each and every
authority to
one
do
of
it?
these
You're damn right
policies
he
that
does.
seal the border and keep us
Because
safe.
they
The
don't
sole
meet, first of all, the legal
purpose of
definition
aiding
of a
and abetting
refugee,
the
number
largest
one.
wave of
Number
illegal
two,
immigration in
they're
human
being
history.
brought
And so
in,
it is
the
literally
FBI
true.
is telling them
It
they're
is
vetted.
actually the case
How are you
that
vetting
Joe
them?
Biden
How are you
is
vetting people that
complicit
don't know
with
their own birthdays?
global smuggling
I can
and
tell you
global
from being over
trafficking
there,
on the largest
most people who
scale
grew up in
in human
Afghanistan, they
history.
don't know their own birthday. You want to know
So,
why
Stephen,
most of their
millions of people
birthdays
are
are
coming across the border. Where are they all
January
gonna go?
1st of
Where are they all
some
gonna
year?
live?
Because nobody knows,
Well,
because
we
nobody
know
cares.
from the
And
very
you're going to
secret
vet them
flights
how?
that
What
this network has
system in
exposed.
Afghanistan do they
And from my
have
own
to vet their
sources
people?
throughout
None.
the Department of Homeland
We
Security,
can't even keep Al
that they're
Qaeda,
being
Hezbollah,
settled
ISIS,
in
and
every
Hamas
single
guys
state all
out of
across
the
this
U.S.
country.
government.
Some
And
of
you're
it
going
is
to tell me
being
you're
done
going to
directly
vet
by the
somebody
federal
living in
government,
a village,
others
Afghanistan,
indirectly
doesn't know their birth? I mean,
through
give me a break.
non-governmental
So there
organizations
are
with the
legal
support,
ways,
cooperation, and in many
but
cases
what it
financing
requires
of the federal
is
government.
knowledge
And what that means
and
is that
courage.
you are going
And
to
I haven't
see,
seen
and you are in
one
fact now
governor
seeing,
yet do
School
anything
districts
like
across the
this,
country
not
being
one.
completely overwhelmed,
But
needing
these are
translators, needing
things
extra
that
resources with
need
no
to be
funding to
done
pay
at
for.
the
Our
local
hospital system
and state
crashing,
level. They
uncompensated
can be
care
done.
soaring through the
And all
roof.
it
That means higher
requires are
premiums for you
citizens
and for your
to
family.
put the
Our
branding
police
iron to
departments
the
are completely
backside
overwhelmed
of these
by the
governors and
influx. And of
county
course, the
officials.
drugs that are coming across
Proverbially
as a result of
speaking,
this,
of
and the
course.
drug dealers and drug traffickers that are entering our communities unimpeded are slaughtering our
On
citizens
your program,
by the
Tucker.
tens of thousands.
We are
Each of their
launching
deaths
a new
preventable,
initiative
but for
in my
this
legal
lawlessness.
foundation known as the Center for Legal Equality. And we will provide free legal representation to any client we take who has been denied a job, a promotion, a benefit because of their skin color. Companies, particularly the largest companies in this country, have embedded systemic racism into their operation. As one example, Morgan Stanley has an internship for college students that explicitly says this is the path, this is the ladder to get you a career in finance. One catch though, you can't be white, you can't be Asian, and it might also help if you're LGBTQ+. Companies across America have identical policies to these. They are illegal, they are immoral, they are racist, they are bigoted, they're poison that hurts everyone on every side of the equation. And the only way to stop them is in federal court. So we're creating a hotline. You can go to it at aflegal.org/hotline. That's aflegal.org/hotline. And tell us what happened to you or your friend. Our attorneys will reach out. And again, any client we take, we will fight these woke corporations 100% for free. You will never pay a dime.
That's amazing. So why isn't anyone else noting that civil rights law explicitly forbids private sector employers from making hiring or promotion decisions based on race? There's no gray area in this. It is flat out illegal. Why is nobody else suing?
I'm shocked at the dearth, the radical absence of lawsuits that have allowed this to perpetuate, to become a cancer, replete through our entire corporate and financial system. I suspect it's fear more than anything else. People are afraid of coming out and saying, no, you cannot discriminate against somebody because they're Asian, or because they're white, or because they're Jewish, or because they're straight, or because they're Christian. Of course you can't. It's absolutely illegal and unconstitutional, and I'll see you in court. So I'm saying it. Tonight on your program, aflegal.org/hotline. Tell us your story. Help us fight
What
back
about
for
you? Are you allowed this latitude? No. You're merely in the way. Keep your nose clean, Mr. American.
Belief. We live in a country right now, think about this, Joe Biden's America, where we have puberty blockers for school children, but we don't have baby formulas for babies. We live in a country where every illegal alien in the world who shows up at our border will be guaranteed baby formula on demand, but American mom and dads cannot feed their own children. And the best ideas they have coming out of the Democratic Party are from Bette Midler, who apparently does not realize that it's not a light switch you can just turn on and off to create breast milk. I won't say any more than that. But, I mean, this is absolute madness. And on a serious note, I want to say that for parents whose children have milk allergies and other food allergies, I mean, this is sheer terror that they're living through. We're the one formula that worked for their kid that they finally found, that will finally let them sleep at night, not cry at night, be happy and flourish, that they cannot get this formula. And the response from Jen Psaki was, oh, well, if you're out of formula, just call your doctor. Well, here's the thing. I love my pediatrician, but I can safely say, if I called my pediatrician and said, hey, do you have a couple of weeks of formula we can borrow? They would hang up on me, and I would probably not be invited back again.
Oh, but they have a website, Miller. They said everybody needs to go to the government website to find out where the formula is. But I get it. I have a newborn, too. He's just over 1. And we tried a bunch of different formulas. He didn't like one, he didn't like the other, and we finally found one that stuck. And it's not an easy process. Yes. Now, are you actually feeding your own babies, or do you have nannies that do that for you? Or you just make your wife do it?
I fed my baby just a couple hours before I came here, although I give my wife all the credit. But we went through the same thing you're describing.
Yeah.
Where, you know, we worked and we tried every different thing.
Yeah, they're picky.
I
think my baby's a snob. He's a food snob. He only likes a certain formula.
But it was a process.
Right. It took a while, and it took a lot of money.
If I couldn't get the formula that my baby needed, I would be in an emotional...
Is suing the public school system on behalf of a group of parents. They accuse the district of moral corruption of children and its deliberate, quote, almost gleeful violations of parental rights. A statement reading this: parents across the country should be shocked and horrified to see a once respected school system systematically destroyed, all because the district believes that it has more of a right than parents to tell a captive audience of students what they must believe. Clint Thomas is a Loudoun County father of 5. Gene Hamilton, Vice President and General Counsel for America First Legal. Thank you, gentlemen, for both of you coming on here on this holiday weekend. Clint, I want to start with you. You're a parent, you're a father, you're angry. As a mother, I don't want anybody telling me what my kids should learn in school. That is my decision. I'm the parent, I raise them, and they will become the adult I want them to be, not you. So the suit was filed, they say, on behalf of 11 courageous parents like yourself. It also targets policies that compel student speech, forces young children to use bathrooms and locker rooms with members of the opposite sex. It also keeps parents in the dark when their children lead a double life as a different gender during school hours. I mean, the fact that I'm even saying these words is actually hard to believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm a father of 5 children who have gone through LCPS, and I'm involved in local business and different aspects of governance in our area. And I don't think anyone back in 2019, when this board was elected, saw this coming. And the insidiousness of the equity agenda and how it's actually played out, it really impacted us and hit us in the face on day one of this past school year when my 2 girls in high school were actually asked in public to declare what their pronouns are. And we just said, no, that's not going to happen. So we contacted the principal right away, and they admitted that it was a violation of their own policy. And even now we found out in Regulation 8040 that parents are now being shut out from knowing if their child's expressing a different gender. So, the plaintiffs that I represent, I'm here with about 10 other plaintiffs who are just standing up and saying enough is enough. And there's actually thousands and thousands of other parents and teachers and stakeholders here in Loudoun County, concerned citizens who are just saying enough. Basically saying, hand me a brick. We're going to rebuild the wall so that we can, rebuild the wall that miseducation of our kids is torn down, and bad actors have been let in our schools, and parents have been shut out.
Yeah, I have a best friend here who has a daughter, 11 years old, in New York City. She came home one day and actually told her mother that she thinks she's pansexual. Okay? The reason why she thinks she's pansexual is because all these kids at school were discussing whether you like boys or girls, and she's like, I don't really like either. I mean, I like everybody, but you're 11. You don't know what you shouldn't even be talking about sex when you're 11, but this is the stuff that's actually being inputted into children's minds. Gene, it is so disturbing on so many levels.
Julie, you're exactly right. It's very disturbing. And the simple fact of the matter is that in Virginia, as in many states across the country, there are 2 competing or should be complementary rights that are at issue. Number 1, parents have the fundamental liberty interest to control the upbringing, the moral instruction, and education of their children. That's been recognized for well over a century. It's just one of these things everybody knows, everybody understands. It's been recognized in the Constitution. It's been recognized in statute. Separately, in many states across the country, children have the right to a free public education. Schools have a duty, a responsibility to provide that education. But what happens when schools, like what we're seeing in Loudoun, are violating that fundamental right of the parents while also threatening the right and putting parents in a position where they have to choose? Do I want to be able to continue to control the upbringing of my kids, or do I want to continue to receive this free education?
Yeah.
That is a choice they should not be forced to make, and that's why we're bringing this lawsuit.
Clint, the lawsuit is suing for the district's systemic and egregious moral corruption of children and its deliberate and almost gleeful violations of parental rights, as I said earlier. Parental rights, that's what this is all about. Parents have the right to make decisions for their children, and quite frankly, I don't think a lot of us parents actually knew what their teachers were teaching them until the pandemic, which was so unfortunate. But at the same time, my kids are on Zoom calls, and I'm actually listening, and I cannot believe what they're being taught and not taught. Go back to the classic days of teaching books and studies about history rather than erasing it, and stick to the facts, stick to history. Forget this modern day woke crap.
Yeah, we are very tired of LCPS wasting our kids' time in class, dumbing down our kids, and basically forcing non-academic material down their throats against our will as parents. We've seen it happen in our advisory blocks where children are subjected to highly sexualized material. And basically, it's very simple. We're not here to argue trans theory, race theory. You can teach what you want as a parent. Yeah. We're just saying that it's really the parent's job as the ultimate educator of our children. We have the right to teach our kids values. It's not the mission of LCPS.
All right, Clint Thomas, Gene Hamilton, thank you both for coming on. Have a wonderful holiday.
Let me go to Steve Miller. Jonathan Turley, I think, summed it up.
So you've heard a lot about systemic racism, and some of us have laughed on it, but actually, if you take 3 steps back, it's completely real. Major corporations in this country, the big ones, Shell, Morgan Stanley, Apple, all of them, basically, have decided to implement hiring practices based on. So there's one of the country's these are not only violations of teachers, it's ideally former morning zoo girl from AM radio in Yakima, Washington, that he's offended by the idea of enforcing the law because laws are racist. But they're only racist when they apply to foreigners who didn't support the left program. So waiting under the bridge in Del Rio tonight was the Democratic Party's future electoral majority way to fight back to. So that's what they're now using. That's why they're protected for doing this. I don't know why no one else is. But how about you? You're an American. You were born here. You remember a free and egalitarian America, a country where the same laws applied to everyone, no matter what color they were.
A tumultuous year in Loudoun County, Virginia. Wow. Parents going after the school district over mask and vaccine